Hello, Coach Renee here for our faith coaching this week. It is gorgeous outside here in Columbus, Ohio. Like, it is the perfect day, in my opinion. Perfect day. I know it's afternoon now, but I just wanted to share that this morning I came outside after having a pretty chill morning and everything. I walked out. Actually, you know what? Maybe I could just show you. I literally walked out, have my door over here, and I was like standing here looking out. Look at this day. Blue skies, just gorgeous, right? And I'm like, wow, this would be like the perfect Saturday morning. This is what I imagine. See how the breeze is blowing? And I can see the pampas grass is just blowing in the wind. The temperature is warm, really warm. And believe me, I have a point for sharing all this to you. Okay. So if you're in a place where it's storming or you're listening to the replay and you're like, okay, why the heck is she talking about this day? There is a reason. But I literally walk out here and I'm like, wow, this is that perfect kind of day that I have always imagined to come out here on the patio this morning. And I literally had my cup of coffee, had my water, had my Bible. Got a beautiful view with like these flowers over here, gorgeous and quiet and peaceful. So as I enjoyed this perfect day, oh, and like even now, like I've got healthy banana bread that is chock full of amazing things and no sugar because I'm doing a year of no sugar. I've got God's word right here in front of me. And there's something, I don't know about you, but when I envision like my perfect day, I'm like, okay, the breeze and no responsibility and just able to chill. So share with me. Hey Charles, great to see you. What is something that is your envisioned perfect day? Your envisioned like best scenario? Your circumstances that make you think everything would be perfect if, and I would be able to achieve whatever it is I'm wanting to achieve, if only. Or gosh, if it was sunny outside, then I would feel good. Or if it wasn't breezy, then my Bible wouldn't keep flipping open, that kind of thing, right? But what is it for you? What makes you recognize your circumstances being like really amazing? So I began to think about this and I recognized that hmm, our circumstances actually do not determine our outcome. And why? Let me explain why. There are many days that I come out here and the sky is just as blue. I actually have the same hours in every single day. The breeze, great. The temperature, wonderful. I can have my Bible in front of me whenever I want to. That's an amazing freedom, right? As we're giving into celebrating the freedoms here in the United States. I can have coffee whenever I want to. I have access to clean water all the time, like literally. It's on tap. I can make healthy banana bread whenever I want to. But what is it about today's circumstances that made me feel like it was amazing? Any ideas? It's actually chemicals. It's chemicals. The things that determine how we feel are chemicals. They're neurotransmitters. They're hormones. They're not our circumstances. They're things in our brain that tell us dopamine, serotonin. At times, it's things such as adrenaline, if we're adrenaline junkie. But these are the things that determine how we feel. So do you see here how and believe me, this is a faith coaching. You might be thinking, okay, Renee, why are you pulling out all this like science or psychology, which that is my background and I love it. But do you know that God is actually the creator of science and psychology? And the words that we've given it actually are just us putting into words what he's already created. So kind of cool when you think about it. But in this faith coaching, the fact that our circumstances do not determine the outcome This is actually something that will help free you when you realize it. Let me explain a little bit more. We're going to go into the Psalms. I was out here reading and enjoying some time with the Lord and listening to worship music and enjoying that perfect day that felt really good, right? My circumstances were all wonderful. And I started reading in Psalms 139. And this is where King David shares some pretty remarkable things when you stop and think about it. So I'm going to read this chapter to you, and I'm probably, because I can't help myself, going to stop and point out a couple of things so that you can understand where I am seeing this in the correct context. So here's what he says. He says, "Oh Lord, you have examined my heart, and you know everything about me." He knows whether we are happy, whether we are sad, whether our circumstances are good, whether they're bad, all of that, right? And I'm not Dr. Seuss, but hey, I like to rhyme sometimes. You know when I sit down or stand up. He knows every circumstance. You know my thoughts, even when I'm far away. And recognize that King David noticed it's when he's far away. So it's like when we're far away from God, but it's not ever that God's far away. King David was like literally the man after God's own heart, okay? He says, you see me when I travel in those circumstances and when I rest at home. You know everything I do. You know what I'm going to say even before I say it, Lord. You go before me and follow me. You place your hand of blessing on my head. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me, too great for me to understand. I can never escape from your spirit. I can never get away from your presence. If I go up to heaven, you are there. So if he's like on cloud 9, he's there. If I go down to the grave, you are there. If he's depressed and utterly uncomfortable or whatever, he's there. If I ride the wings of the morning, if I dwell by the farthest oceans, even there your hand will guide me and your strength will support me. I could ask the darkness to hide me and the light around me to become night. But even in darkness, I cannot hide from you. Ah, that's so relieving, isn't it? To you, the night shines as bright as day. Darkness and light are the same to you. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body, including those the neurotransmitters we were just talking about. God created all that. He knows it. He understands it. He knows our feelings and emotions as well. And he knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Ha, we are complex people, aren't we? Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark of the womb. You saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Every moment was laid out before a single day had passed. How precious are your thoughts about me, O God. They cannot be numbered. I can't even count them. They outnumber the grains of sand. And when I wake up, you are still with me. Oh God, if only you would destroy the wicked. Get out of my life, you murderers. They blaspheme you. Your enemies misuse your name. Oh Lord, shouldn't I hate those who hate you? Shouldn't I despise those who oppose you? Yes, I hate them with total hatred, for your enemies are my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See, I want you to recognize here, King David is going from like, oh God, I feel so good because I'm just thinking of good things. And then he's like, oh, but now I'm thinking about other things, and it raises up my adrenaline. It raises up and makes me angry. All these chemicals are going on within the same guy, the same dude. But he says, search me, O Lord, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life. So are you catching what's going on here? Do you realize that David realizes himself that he goes through so many different circumstances, that there's never a time that he is apart from God? And our outcome has nothing to do with our circumstances. I shouldn't say nothing, because our circumstances are determined by our steps and our actions. So just don't get too semantical on me here. But recognize what I'm telling you. Our circumstances, whether it's a nice day, whether it's exactly what we imagined, whether it's, hey, if I can make this amount of money, then I'll be happy. Or then I'll be able to do my calling and my purpose. Or if only I had all the resources. Or if only, oh my gosh, if only my kids listened to me, then I could be a better mom. We have so many different things in our life. We have other people that change our circumstances. We don't have control. But in that lack of control, in that whole circumstantial situation, there's one thing that is constant, and it's not our feelings, it's our facts. And this is what I want you to focus on today. I want you to focus on the fact that no matter where you are, no matter where you are mentally, no matter where you are in your job or where you are with your friends or your relationship, no matter how deep and dark your sin is, no matter how much you're struggling with that business that you want so badly to succeed, no matter how far you feel from God, from Psalm 139 here in King David's life, we know the fact is that God has never left us, that we can walk with him through every circumstance that we have, whether it's the perfect circumstance and we're enjoying our Saturday morning with a perfect cup of coffee and that delightful homemade sugar-free and healthy banana bread. Or whether we're dealing with circumstances, wow, I shouldn't eat that banana bread, that leave us feeling like we're a mess or like we're a loser. Friends, you are never a loser. As you can tell from this in Psalm 139, verse 13 on, we are told that we were created by a maker that loves us, a maker that knows everything about us, that is always with us. Even when we're far from him, he's there with us. That's the facts. The facts are that you can never tick him off, watch my language, bad enough to have him leave you or forsake you. The facts are that if you were to succeed in that business, if you are following him and allowing him to lead your life, it will succeed. But if you are away from him and choose to live life away from him, your circumstances will change, but the fact remains that he's still there for you. So today, if you could envision a perfect day, what would it look like? What would be winning to you today? I'm living it out. Like I've still got my dopamine going on and all that kind of stuff, but I recognize that that's just today. Tomorrow, I could be a hormonal mess and have the exact same circumstances and yet not feel the same way. Because those feelings, unfortunately, human beings rely on way too much. And it's the facts that we have to be rooted in. So let me know what your perfect day would look like or your perfect life. What's holding you back? What's making you feel like you're losing because you don't have the perfect winning circumstances? And if this is something that you want to work on, this is something that you could use a community of people to remind you of the facts, that you can serve others and you're able to win at life in imperfection, because we are all imperfect. Then check out, I'll see if I can put it up here, www.bealifewinner.com. And you can learn more about the Winner Circle. This is a group of amazing individuals. There are people who are employees, people who are business owners, people who are moms, singles, married, lawyer. Oh, it's just different people, but there's this common realization that we need each other. We need to be reminded of the facts. So if that's something that you're interested in, check it out. I invite you to check it out. Ask me if you have any questions. But you were created to win. Go out and be who you were created to be, who God created you to be. Do what you were designed to do, regardless of the circumstances that you're going through today or even in your life. Because God created you to win. And I believe in you. You can do it. I'll talk to you soon, friends. Bye-bye.